Hi everybody and welcome to Penfinity. My name is Will72 and in this lesson we're going to talk about dissecting texture to be able to recreate it procedurally. So of course, don't get me wrong, that's my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but from now with the technology we have right now, you're not going to be able to recreate near reality with procedural unless you do crazy tweaking and stuff like that, but this is not the goal. The goal is to create convincing shaders, and I believe you can do it procedurally and really well. But for that, you have to first of all understand what you want to recreate. And what I want to show you today is how I analyze my texture to understand it better. So this is a technique you will find in the retouching industry, and it's called the frequency separation. So what it means, simply you will separate the color from the value and the texture to be able to retouch them individually and combine them after. So this is really powerful because it gives you lots of flexibility in your retouching, and you can use it as well in illustration. And I will show you that in another lesson. So let me show you how I do mine. So this is how I separate the texture. So here I have, with this layer, the color only, and here it is the value. But in the value, I separated the details and the value informations. As you can see, if I disable the details, you have only a blurry texture. This is only the value here, and let me disable it. And as you can see, here is the details, and I put it in 3 levels. I have the broad one, medium one, and the tiny one. So how I use this? Simply with this layer, the blurry one, I use it to define exactly what type of shape globally I will have to use to recreate that. And to make this analysis efficient, you have of course to know the texture node in Blender and how they behave. So that's really important. If you don't know how they work, you're not going to be able to choose the proper one when you want to recreate your texture. So that's really important. Take the time to study every option of it. And this one, those 3 is going to be for the tiny details. And as you can see, recreating this kind of texture is much more complex than plugging only one procedural or maybe 2. It's going to require for the details only, not necessarily 3, but at least 2 to be able to have a convincing surface deformation. And for that, we'll have to I know with this texture we'll have to use a multiple bump level to recreate that. And the color information, let me. So this the color information will show me what I will have to do, because as you know, my goal is to recreate as simple as possible, and I can see right out of the box with this map I will have to use a color ramp with different slide to be able to recreate this node, as you can see, because I have some red, some blue colors, and I will have to have a multiple slot recreate that efficiently. So this is what the frequency separation gave me. It gave me the possibility to analyze properly, take notes, and with that notes I will be able to create the process, and that doesn't mean the process will be right, but I will have a proper direction to start with, what texture I'm going to use and how I'm going to use them, and if I have to use a color ramp, if I have to use a mix, how many mix. I try to discipline myself to do that, because it speed up the trust me, it speed up the process so much. And I will show you that in the next video. I will do a proper proper notes and a mind map of the creation of this procedural rust texture. But first of all, I wanted to show you how I study the texture properly. So I think that the frequency separation is a really good technique. It will give you a really good approximation on the tool you have to use to make that happen. So this is it for now. So let me show you how I separate this. I'm gonna duplicate that. Let me merge the layer group. Okay. So first, to be able to separate that, you have to create 2 layers. And I learned that technique from Mr. Seth Jones. He is my mentor in retouching. He's the guy is the boss. That's ridiculous. And he has a masterclass in retouching. If you're interested about this field, I highly recommend you to take his class. So, and you put a 50% gray layer here and here, and the first one you're gonna put it in color, and you will have that. So let me put that in the layer group. So you will have that, and the second you put it in lightness, and you will have the value information. Okay, so once you have that, I merge the 2 layer group like this, and I'm gonna use the Gimmick plugin to be able to create the frequency separation for this one. So for that, I'm going to Gimmick, and let me go into details here, and I'm going to use split details. And as you can see, you can set up the level of details you want. Usually for analyzing texture, I put it to 3. So, no, maybe 4. It's 4, excuse me. I put it to 4, so I have these 4 layers. And click to OK. And it will generate that for me. And now, if I activate the color map and I put it to color LCH, I will have my texture back. So this is how I do it to be able to study my texture. So I hope this one was informative. As always, if you have any question, don't hesitate to contact me at info@penfinity.com, and on Instagram, because this is where I'm the most active for now. So the Instagram is pen_finity, and in the next lesson, I will show you how I take the notes, mind mapping everything to be able to start the process of the recreation of this texture procedurally. So that's it for now, and see you soon, everybody.